15 states, over 100,000 people still without power, and another Arctic blast is already on the way. Right now, at this very moment, the National Weather Service is tracking a dangerous winter pattern that stretches from the Midwest all the way to New England, and it is arriving on top of what is already the most destructive winter storm season in over a decade. According to AccuWeather, the economic damage from this winter alone has surpassed $118 billion. That number is still climbing. In the next minutes, I am going to give you the exact timing for when this next system arrives, city by city, from Boston to Charlotte to Jackson, Mississippi. Not general information, exact times. When it starts, when it peaks, and when the danger passes. I am also going to show you what the European model is projecting for Valentine's Day weekend, because what is developing could turn into another historic storm. Nobody else is breaking this down for you hour by hour, but first, you need to understand why communities from Mississippi to the Carolinas are still on their knees, and why the forecast ahead could make everything worse. And real quick, before we get into it, drop your city and state in the comments. I want to know where you are watching from. If you leave your location, I will give you an update on what to expect in your area, or share what the weather is like where you live so everyone in the community knows what is happening across the country. It takes 2 seconds. Do it now and let us look out for each other. This is not one storm. This is a relentless cycle of back-to-back winter systems hammering regions that were never built for this kind of cold and snow, and the next wave is less than 72 hours away. The Southeast faces a brief but deceptive warm-up this week before conditions deteriorate again. If you live anywhere from Charlotte, North Carolina to Atlanta, Georgia, pay close attention. Temperatures surged into the mid-70s across the Deep South on Tuesday afternoon. Record highs were set across eastern and western Kentucky, from Paducah all the way to Pikeville, with upper 60s and low 70s. That warmth will hold through Wednesday and into Thursday across the region, but do not be fooled. Charlotte, listen carefully. This is important. Your city just recorded 11 inches of snow from the bomb cyclone, more than triple your typical annual snowfall in a single storm. The mountain town of Faust, North Carolina was buried under 22.5 inches. Over 1,300 crashes were reported across North Carolina and Virginia during the storm. Near Kannapolis, a 100-vehicle pileup on Interstate 85 forced the National Guard to respond. Drivers were trapped in sub-zero temperatures for hours. On the Outer Banks, another unoccupied home in Buxton collapsed into the ocean from heavy surf. That makes 28 homes lost to coastal erosion since 2022. Here is what nobody else is telling you about this region. According to the European model, heavy rain is forecast to move through Georgia, the Carolinas, and Florida by Sunday, February 15th and into the 16th. The same areas still clearing debris from the bomb cyclone could see another round of significant precipitation, and the European model suggests a low-pressure system could deepen to 960 to 970 millibars off the northeast coast by early next week. If that track shifts closer to shore, we are talking potential blizzard conditions. If it stays offshore, a miss, but the pattern supports it. What comes next is critical for millions across the Northeast. The forecast developing there demands your full attention. The Northeast is dealing with active winter weather right now, and it is not letting up. As of Tuesday evening, heavy snow is falling across upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and into western Maine. Some of that snow is reaching down into the Boston area and across Massachusetts. Here is the important part. Snowfall rates of 1 inch per hour or more are lowering visibility below half a mile across portions of New England this evening. Those conditions will persist through midnight and into 2 a.m. Wednesday morning. Now, here is a term you need to understand. When forecasters talk about a bomb cyclone, they are describing a storm system where the central pressure drops at least 24 millibars in 24 hours. That rapid pressure drop is what generates the extreme winds and heavy precipitation. The safety takeaway is simple. When you hear bomb cyclone, it means conditions can go from manageable to life-threatening in a matter of hours. Have your emergency supplies ready before the storm arrives, not during it. Boston, your snow tapers off to scattered showers by Wednesday morning, but lake-effect snow bands off Lake Ontario will keep conditions dangerous across western and upstate New York through the day. Snow squalls with near-zero visibility can develop with little warning. Portland, Maine, expect heavier accumulations overnight, with 3 to 6 inches possible through Friday morning. Hartford and Providence, you are on the southern edge with a mix of snow, sleet, and freezing drizzle. New York City, expect mostly freezing drizzle and sleet. Not heavy, but enough to make roads treacherous. Comment below right now with your city and state. I will give you the exact forecast for your location. Thousands of viewers are already doing this and getting critical information they cannot find anywhere else. Do not wait. Type your location now. Through Friday morning, total accumulations of 3 to 6 inches are expected across Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and upstate New York. But what is developing for Valentine's Day weekend could dwarf these numbers entirely. Mississippi is in crisis, and the forecast ahead offers no relief for the people who need it most. According to PowerOutage.us, nearly 20,000 customers remained without power in northern Mississippi as of Friday. That is down from 180,000 homes and businesses that lost electricity when the ice storm struck late last month. Lafayette County, where Oxford is located, still has about 4,200 customers in the dark. Here is the important part. Some of these families have been without electricity for nearly 2 weeks. In Oxford, 79-year-old Barbara Bishop and her 85-year-old husband George have been without power since late January. They took in their son, granddaughter, and 2 children whose homes also lost power and water. The family survived on nothing but a gas heater. Across the street, Russ Jones and his wife went days without electricity or water, using 5-gallon buckets to flush toilets and cooking on their gas stove. Volunteers from 8 Days of Hope, a nonprofit disaster response organization, have helped dozens of homeowners clear down trees and patch roofs. They have served more than 16,000 free meals. Now here is the forecast. Temperatures in Oxford hit 70 degrees on Friday, and the warm trend continues through the middle of the week. But even with that warm-up, chunks of ice still litter the ground in shaded areas. Downed trees are piled on roadsides, some still smoldering from burns. Power lines still hang low over roads and lie across parking lots. Tree limbs dangle everywhere, waiting for the next gust to bring them down. Looking ahead to Valentine's Day weekend, the Weather Prediction Center has issued a Day 4 marginal risk of excessive rainfall for the Oklahoma City metro area, extending east to Tulsa and south through Wichita Falls and Abilene, Texas. By Saturday into Sunday, a slight risk for excessive rainfall covers southeast Oklahoma, northeast Texas, and central Arkansas, including Little Rock, Fort Smith, and the northern suburbs of Dallas-Fort Worth. Northern Mississippi sits right in the path of heavy rainfall potential as that moisture streams across the Gulf Coast. For a region still recovering from catastrophic ice damage, heavy rain on top of weakened trees and damaged infrastructure is a dangerous combination. But the most critical forecast of this entire report is still ahead. What is developing for the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic could be historic. This is the forecast that demands the most attention. The National Weather Service is tracking a powerful storm system that will sweep across the southern United States and potentially explode off the northeast coast between Saturday, February 14th and Tuesday, February 17th. Multiple weather models are converging on a scenario that could impact tens of millions of Americans. Let me explain something critical. When meteorologists talk about a negatively tilted trough, they are describing a weather pattern where the jet stream dips sharply and tilts in a way that supercharges storm development. It pulls cold air south and warm, moist air north at the same time, creating an explosive collision. The safety connection here is direct. A negatively tilted trough is what turns an ordinary storm into a potential blizzard or severe weather outbreak. If you hear that term in a forecast, take it seriously and finalize your preparations immediately. Remember those $118 billion in damage from this winter. For the millions of people in this storm's path, those numbers could climb even higher. According to the European model, a low-pressure system will develop across the southern plains on Friday, move through the deep south Saturday and Sunday, and then rapidly intensify off the mid-Atlantic and northeast coast by Sunday night into Monday. Ensemble members show that low deepening to 980 to 990 millibars near the Carolinas and Virginia by Sunday evening, then potentially crashing to 960 to 970 millibars as it races northeast. Here is the hour-by-hour breakdown. Friday, February 13th, rain and storms develop across Texas and New Mexico. Saturday, Valentine's Day, heavy rain sets up across Arkansas, the Deep South, and the Gulf Coast, with severe weather possible along the Gulf. Sunday, heavy rain pushes through Georgia, the Carolinas, and Florida. By Sunday evening into Monday, the system intensifies rapidly off the northeast coast. Boston, listen carefully. If this system tracks close to shore, you could be looking at heavy snow and strong winds by Sunday night into Monday. A blizzard is not out of the question. New York City, you are on the rain-snow line. The track of this system, whether it passes 50 miles offshore or 200 miles offshore, will determine whether you see a major snowstorm or mostly rain. Philadelphia and Washington. The warm side of this system brings heavy rain and gusty winds regardless of the track. Here is what nobody else is telling you. The European model, which has been more accurate than the GFS this winter season, brings a potential blizzard into Nova Scotia by the 16th and 17th. If that system wobbles even slightly west, the northeast corridor takes a direct hit. The GFS is more suppressed and does not bring the storm north at all, but given its track record this season, the European model deserves more weight. If you are anywhere from Virginia to Maine, comment your location below. I am reading every single comment and responding with specific information for your area. Hundreds of viewers have already done this. Do not wait. The next 48 to 72 hours will determine how this plays out, and I will have updates as models come in. For the 15 states already bracing for the Arctic blast, including Michigan, Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and the Carolinas, the question is not whether conditions will be difficult, it is how bad, and for how long. Looking ahead, the weather pattern across the United States is entering a dramatic split. East of the Continental Divide, warmth dominates. Temperature anomalies through the middle and end of February could run 40 degrees above normal across the northern plains and upper Midwest. Record-breaking highs are possible from the Rockies to the East Coast during the third week of February. Meanwhile, the western third of the nation is finally seeing the cooler air that has been absent all winter. The Cascades and Sierra Nevada mountains are about to get buried. Over the next 10 days, the Sierra Mountains in California could see up to 170 inches of snowfall. That is over 14 feet in the higher elevations. The Cascades and Central Rockies, including Utah, western Wyoming, and western Colorado, will also see significant accumulations. If you are a skier, conditions out west are about to be exceptional. That temperature gradient, extreme warmth in the east and cooler air in the west, is a recipe for dynamic storm systems. When those tight gradients collide, you get the energy for major storms. On the northern edge, where cold air is marginally present, that means accumulating snow and potential ice storms. Further south, heavy rain and severe weather. If you are in the mid and lower Mississippi River Valley or the southeast, pay close attention to the pattern from mid to late February. Heavy rainfall and severe weather threats will be increasing, but here is what nobody else is telling you yet. Another potential storm system could develop around February 17th through the 20th as this pattern continues. Long-range models support it. It is too early to know the details, but I will be monitoring closely. I will have a full update early next week, breaking down whatever develops. Make sure you do not miss it. With these forecasts in mind, here is what you need to know right now. This is not just a snowstorm. We are looking at active winter weather across the Northeast tonight, a developing major storm system for Valentine's Day weekend, continued power outages across Mississippi and Tennessee, and the threat of severe weather and heavy rain along the Gulf Coast. 4 simultaneous weather crises unfolding at once. Now let me explain one more critical term: When officials warn about black ice, they are talking about a thin, nearly invisible layer of ice that forms on roads when temperatures drop below freezing, especially after precipitation or snowmelt. You cannot see it. Your tires lose grip instantly. The safety solution is straightforward. Reduce your speed, increase your following distance, and avoid sudden braking or steering. If you are in an area that saw snow or rain followed by a temperature drop, assume black ice is present even if the road looks clear. If you are traveling through the Northeast this evening, visibility is dropping below half a mile and heavier snow bands. State troopers across the region are delivering one message: if you do not have to be out, stay home. If you must travel in the coming days, your safest window is Wednesday through Friday before the Valentine's Day weekend system arrives. After that, conditions deteriorate rapidly. Prepare now, not Friday morning, now. Stock up on supplies, fuel your vehicles, charge your devices, and have a plan for what you will do if the power fails again. For those still without electricity in Mississippi and Tennessee, check on your neighbors, especially elderly residents who may not be able to manage on their own. Beyond the immediate forecasts, the financial toll of this winter is staggering, and the recovery process is exposing serious problems. According to AccuWeather, the earlier ice storm caused an estimated $105 billion to $115 billion in economic losses and was linked to dozens of deaths. This weekend's bomb cyclone is expected to add another $13 billion to $15 billion. Here is one more term worth understanding. When insurance experts talk about ice damming, they mean ice that builds up along the edge of a roof, preventing melted snow from draining. That trapped water backs up under shingles and leaks into your home, causing serious interior damage. The critical safety step is to keep your gutters clear and ensure your attic has proper insulation and ventilation so heat does not escape and melt snow unevenly on your roof. Ice dams often do not show damage until days or weeks after the storm, so inspect your ceilings and walls for water stains even after conditions improve. According to Peter Flynn, Senior Vice President at Exceedance, when you have cycles of prolonged cold followed by thawing and refreezing, the loss period stretches out for weeks. Pipe bursts, ice dams, and interior water damage get worse with every passing hour. Policies typically require homeowners to take prompt and reasonable steps to protect their property immediately after a loss. Early intervention is the difference between a manageable repair and a major claim involving mold, extended displacement, and higher rebuild costs. Officials are urging everyone with secondary or unoccupied homes to ensure those properties are properly heated, water is shut off, or someone is checking on them regularly. This is especially critical across the Southeast, where infrastructure was never designed for repeated winter storms of this magnitude. Let us recap what we have covered. The Northeast is seeing active snow tonight, with 3 to 6 inches possible through Friday. The Carolinas are cleaning up from a bomb cyclone that dumped 22.5 inches on Faust, North Carolina, and caused over 1,300 crashes. Mississippi still has nearly 20,000 customers without power going on 2 weeks, and a major storm system is developing for Valentine's Day weekend that the European model shows could bring a potential blizzard to the Northeast coast if the track comes together. 15 states are under weather alerts or preparing for an Arctic blast. The economic damage this winter has surpassed $118 billion, and we are only halfway through February. I will be tracking this hour by hour as the models update. If you want real-time information, drop your location in the comments right now. Tell me where you are watching from and what conditions look like in your area. Hundreds of viewers are already doing this and getting critical updates. Share this video with everyone you know in the affected areas. They need to see this before the weekend arrives. This is not hype. This is not exaggeration. I hope everyone in the path of this next system stays safe. I hope the forecast comes in on the lighter side, but the pattern does not support that. You have been warned. You have the information. What you do with it is up to you. This winter is proving that extreme weather does not just happen somewhere else. It happens where you live, and the communities that prepare now will be the ones that come through it. Tell us in the comments, are you prepared for what is coming this weekend? What does your area still need to recover from the last storm?